I got David Coleman on here. I'm sure he's got some interesting things here, and maybe Gail is going to be interested in what he might have to say here. So, hey, Dave, how you doing?
Great, Mike. Thanks for having me back on. How you doing?
Oh, doing just fine here. So, probably lots of things happened here the past month. So, a lot of things happened to me this past week, though. You've seen some of the evidence and pictures, though, but we'll talk about that in a little bit. So, where do you want to start?
Yeah, a lot of stuff going on right now in the railroad world. Kind of start with an issue that's going on here locally with the Norfolk Southern here. There's talk that they're trying to get the clearances raised in the Pittsburgh area to run the double stack trains through the downtown part of Pittsburgh. Right now, Mike, they have to run the double stack trains out. They have to run them like on the Mon line, which is on the south side of Pittsburgh. And you know, the problem with that is there's a lot of rock slides that have happened on that line.
Oh yeah.
That line runs up against the Monongahela River, and it runs like at the bottom of a big hill there that goes along Mount Washington and all the way along the river down to Kennywood there. So that's something they, I guess, have started really researching there. They're trying to get some of these bridges, and then supposedly the Amtrak station as well has a pretty bad clearance for double stacks and auto racks in the city of Pittsburgh. So I guess they're working with Michael Baker International, and they put like some designs and some drawings that they will be trying to make this work. And I guess they want to make they want to do this because it'll speed up the traffic going through Pittsburgh, and it'll make things a little bit easier when trains come through Pittsburgh instead of having to go over the Ohio River and the Monongahela River. They'll be able to just stay on the main line right through the city. So yeah, it'll be really interesting to see what happens, Mike, with this. Does this go through, or do these trains have to keep running on the Mon line because that's the best clearances right now?
Oh, okay. I thought there was other issues, like some of these bridges were too low for the double stacks. Didn't you mention that once?
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah. I guess, from what it sounds like, yeah, the bridges are too low. And then they said the proposed work for the Amtrak station might start later this year, is what they're talking about. They're talking about the Columbus Avenue track lowering project, which would be completed as a separate project. Some of the funding will be done with the PennDOT, Pennsylvania Department of Transportation. They don't know what the cost will be on this, but I think overall for Norfolk Southern, it just makes a lot more sense to do this and really go through with this kind of operation, because if you look at it, it'll save time. And I think the Pittsburgh line that goes through the city is just a little bit easier route, and then there won't be all the congestion at the two bridges, like at the Ohio River Bridge, the Ohio Connecting Bridge, and then the bridge on the east side over there where they get off the Mon line and they go on the single track Port Perry branch, which is a very important route, but it's single track, and it bottles things up quite a bit there when the intermodal trains are running through town.
Wow, interesting though. Hey, a question just popped up in the chat room. I guess Chapisha Joan called. She got a question though. She writes, so if they don't use caboose car anymore, how are you supposed to know when the train is over? Now. Yeah, it just popped up here, it's crazy. That's really something.
That's quite a question there. So obviously,
what's this?
Back in the day, with the Florida East Coast was the one that came up with that flashing rear end device. You see that on pretty much all freight trains now. And I think the last place where cabooses were really used in main service was in Canada in the 90s. So it's been quite a while. The only time you really see the cabooses anymore is on these local freights where they have to make a lot of switching moves and backup moves in the different yards and different factories and stuff. But we see there's very few cabooses anymore. I just looked it up on Wikipedia. The first end-of-train device was used in 1968 by Florida East Coast, and by the mid-1980s, they were very common equipment. So it's been around for quite a while. So the caboose is kind of like I guess you'd say it's kind of what happened to is kind of what's happened to cable TV nowadays. Fewer and fewer people are using it.
Yeah, absolutely. That brings up mind. There's two places in close to my area that still uses cabooses, and one is in Marion, Ohio, for the local, and also in Fremont.
Okay.
They got an old Norfolk Western brown caboose that they tow around behind that train, hauling the cars up from the main line up to up the hill, up to the little. I don't know, all to the customers and stuff, though. Same thing they do in Marion. So, hey, you got any info about North Carolina or what's going on down there?
Yeah. I got that right here. So, there's a couple stories I found on that, Mike. So we'll start off with Norfolk Southern. This was on Progressive Railroading back in December. They said the section of track running from Newport, Tennessee, to Grovestone, North Carolina, is now projected to open like the end of March, a lot later than they thought. They just said it really was such a problem getting this. They've tried to get all sorts of help and trying to get these lines open, but that route is not going to be open for several months still. And then I think the CSX was saying the same thing. I just saw CSX. This was over on supplychainlive.com. It was saying that, this was back in November. They were saying that the Hurricane Helene damaged CSX's network more than any other storm in the last 30 years besides Katrina, Joe Heinrich said. This was back in October. He said this. So they were saying that the rebuild would cost they're saying probably over $20 million. Let's see. I read that wrong. Over $200 million, stretching into next year. So this was obviously the end of last year. This was on the Blue Ridge subdivision between looks like somewhere in Tennessee and North Carolina. So really hard hit. Just a lot. I mean, obviously, it was a huge thing for them because they have that area, Mike, I think is pretty big with the coal industry for CSX. And there's various, I want to say paper plants, certain fibers are made down there at certain plants. Mm-hmm. So, it's not a real busy line like number of trains like you'd see at, say, Greenwich or a hot spot on CSX. But these are products that, you need to, we use for everyday stuff, in our lives. And if the railroad can't ship this stuff, it's going to be a big problem. So it just sounds like, they're evaluating this kind of in the same manner that NS is and saying that it's going to take quite a while. And there was even an article in the News and Observer, which I think is a newspaper down in Raleigh. The rail lines have been silenced since the end of September. About 230 miles of railroad remain out of service, including key sections owned by CSX and Norfolk Southern. They think this was back in mid-December, this article was written. They said the worst damage was along the North Toe and Nolichucky rivers from Spruce Pine northwest into Tennessee. I guess, Mike, CSX, their tracks down there go through a real steep, remote valley. So I guess all this rain and all this hurricane damage just destroyed everything there. So, they said they were able to restore some of the service towards Spruce Pine, towards Charlotte, South Carolina, allowing it to carry freight for the Quartz Corporation. I guess they make high-quality quartz for semiconductor chips, and Baxter Healthcare, which makes IV fluids near Marion. So we're seeing those are two big things. Obviously, hospitals, microchips maybe in cars and things like that, and different other equipment that people would use day in and day out, computers. And then the other thing they wrote in that is this News and Observer basically said that NS, they said the same thing. They're hoping by the end of March. I guess the freight yard in Asheville is next to the city's River Arts District. Absolutely destroyed.
Wow.
They don't know when they're going to be able to reopen the line between Old Fort and Black Mountain either. This is where the NS tracks top the Eastern Continental Divide with a series of horseshoe turns through rugged terrain. And I guess they were talking about trying to use this for passenger trains in the future. But as of right now, this is really a mess. And I guess there's a third railroad, the Blue Ridge Southern, which connects with several businesses through Hendersonville and Waynesville. Their connection to the outside railroad world is Norfolk Southern in Asheville, and they can't even get anywhere. So they're like totally shut down. And this is unbelievable because, Mike, this stuff happened at the end of September, and now we're into February. So crazy to think how this hurricane really, because of where it hit in the mountains and the terrain, has really made a mess for these railroads and people's day-to-day lives there. It's really sad.
Wow, incredible. Yeah, I've seen some of the pictures and some of the damage and everything, though, that you sent me, though. Wow, it's incredible. It really is.
Oh, yeah. I'm looking at those pictures right now, like on that News and Observer and the supply chain website. It's unbelievable, man. There was a picture I saw online where I guess some freight cars were stored on an NS line in the mountains there, and they're just submerged. Like, I don't know, they're going to be there for a long time. But it's sad, man. I really can't believe what kind of damage was done there. It's crazy to think that something like this, could happen, but natural disasters, no one has control over them, and let's just hope they can rebuild and this never happens in our lifetime again.
Well, I hope so too, though. I don't know, but it's too bad that maybe we've been talking about that rotten FEMA stealing all these funds and stuff, though. They sure as ain't helping matters any, though, for the people down there, I'll tell you, though. But the railroad, though, down in them portions, though, it's got to be a vital link to their survival and everything. It really does.
Oh, yeah, those towns, I mean, like, we were talking about the different industries there. Those towns, obviously, some of those businesses, when those companies are going strong, that's probably what really furnishes their economy down there.
Absolutely.
It does is the people who work in those towns depend on, those companies to make a living. So, if the railroad can't ship the stuff out of there, even if they can't get the tracks built back up, it's a scary sight, Mike. So yeah, I'm just hoping for the best in 2025 for them, because it's sad, what's happened. It's too bad.
Wow, interesting. Anyway, one of our participants, Gail, was inquiring about what's going on in North Carolina. Though she's got a special interest for North Carolina and wanted to know what's going on as far as the hurricane and what effects on the railroad. So I'm sure she really appreciated it.
Yeah, there's a lot of stuff there. Let's hope. I'm hoping by springtime they're running trains again through there, because it is a very, very important part of those railroad systems, and in the people down there. Just we're thinking of all of them. because some people have had to completely start from scratch with what's happened down there.
Wow. Yeah, a lot of it's going to get scrapped, though, unfortunately. I don't know. Some of it can be probably still salvaged, most of it, though. But the contents, though, and some of these intermodal cars stuff, though, are probably not going to be salvageable. What cars itself probably could be. It's not like trying to salvage a flooded automobile, It's totally different.
Oh, yeah, absolutely. Yeah, I know they were using, like, old flat cars to help rebuild bridges and stuff down there on some roads that had been washed out because of the hurricane. So, any which way the railroads can help, I think they will. And, I hope that people would do the same for them because, obviously, as we say, that is an important link to that economy down there, to say the very least.
Yeah, I seen that one picture of all them intermodal flat cars and stuff, though. It's just covered with debris along the river valley and all that, though.
Yeah.
Wow, that's crazy, and they're still there.
Yeah.
They're still there. Yeah, they're still there.
Yeah, it's hard to fathom, man. It really is. It's hard to believe that they're still there. But, few other stories that have come out this week. I guess we'll jump. We'll actually, speaking of like disasters and problems, there was a derailment that happened on NS in West Virginia on their main line between, say, Columbus, Ohio, and Williamson, West Virginia, which is a really busy line for them. They call that the Pocahontas district there. And there was a derailment. It happened in a town called Crum, West Virginia. And I guess 18 cars of a train derailed yesterday around 10 p.m. And it sounds like a lot of trains are getting detoured because of this, Mike. So it's incredible to believe that, if detours are happening when there's a derailment, it's got to be pretty serious. I guess there are a couple trains that ran through here today. There was a extra from Charlotte to Chicago, and then there was another train from Chicago to Norfolk with a lot of marine containers. Typically, these trains run through Columbus and Marion and those areas.
I know what line that is, sure.
Yeah, they ended up running them this way. So tomorrow is going to be an interesting day to see if they can get this derailment cleaned up or there'll be more detours coming this way. The tough thing is, Mike, is right now NS is, using some crews over in eastern Pennsylvania for another detour project with that Howard Street Tunnel project in Baltimore on the CSX. And, it's really interesting with that because some of the trains that are detouring on that line are using the NS tracks, and they're going down through like Hagerstown, Maryland, and then like Reading, PA. And then some of the trains are taking the real long way around where they're going all the way across Sandpatch through Pittsburgh and then getting on the main line there up in Cleveland. And then they'll go to like Buffalo and Selkirk or down the river line. So those trains are taking quite a long way to get to their destination. So it's the time if for people who like to see different trains at different locations, this is a good time to do it with all these interesting moves.
Wow. Okay, we're about in 21 minutes in here, so we can keep going here for a little bit. So,
sure.
What's the next thing you want to bring up real quick?
Yeah, so there's another project that's been going on. CN last month completed a 4-mile siding extension project in Chicago that has resulted in a 30% increase in area speed and a 17% boost in capacity. The extension on the track in Chicago was done in Sutton and the village of Spalding near Springfield. And I guess this was deemed necessary a couple years ago. And, I guess some of these projects they were trying to complete last year but I guess they're going to try to. They completed it. I want to say right around the New Year, and they said that it was a good thing they were able to do it, because the problem is as we know in Chicago, there's so much congestion, and it's really, really hard to get some of these trains through Chicago because there's so many trains, and there's a lot of diamonds, and there's not too many places, Mike, where trains can just run through at track speed, because they're trying to go in and out of these terminals and yards. So any project like this makes a lot of sense to really make the operation smoother in such a busy area.
Wow. Wow. Jeez. I'm not sure how to rebuttal on some of that, though, but you're more up to date on it than I am, though. I do my things, I don't know. I'm so busy here. I can't keep track of all what's going on, though. But you're my only link, though, to knowing what's going on, though, because you send me all them things, and I do read them, and I sure do check them out. I don't always answer right away sometimes. I check them out, though. Then next thing you know, something drags my attention to this and that. If I'm out videoing, though, I'll look at it, and all of a sudden here comes something, though, and then I forget, and everything. Hey, what did you think of those pictures I sent to you last about 4 days ago? Had that 2 double heritage units on there. I mean, that was really something. What did you think?
Yeah. That train, that was the one I saw. Oh man, dude, I was lucky to see that. So what happened that night? They were, poor dispatching. We'll get into something here a little bit with rail fanning around here with the dispatching lately. So what happened was they had they stopped a couple trains that night at Leedsdale, and I had to go to the south side of the tracks, the opposite side of Wendy's there, because there was a train blocking my view on the track closest to the street.
Wow. Wow.
And I went over there, and luckily they ran that train with the Erie Lackawanna engine.
And moving way of the world, too.
Yeah. They had that engine on there as well. And they ran that on a track closer to the river where I was sitting, and I was able to get a good view of it at night there. But, what an interesting sighting that was. That was pretty rare.
Yeah, 2 of them like that at once. So then I got that track geometry unit the day before yesterday, and today I got New York Central for the CSX.
Wow, you got the New York Central.
Yeah, I got it today too. Did I send you a picture of it? I probably forgot.
I did not. No, I didn't see that. Where did you?
I forgot.
Which New York Central did you see? The CSX one or the
CSX one? No, I was in Greenwich. So I went down there in the area yesterday just pick up some episodes. I got 3 of them out of the deal, and I never thought in my life I'd see the track geometry unit toward the end of the day, though, but it came by. It surprised the crap out of me, though, I'll tell you, though, and I thought, well, and then this morning I woke up and looked at the heritage unit, so, and I see, well, here comes the New York Central coming. It was in Fostoria, so, all right, let's head back to Greenwich again today, and I ended up with an episode out of it, though, with that unit. Hey, what did you think of my mission part of the heritage units today's episode?
What train was that New York Central heritage unit on?
What train? Oh, IO10.
Oh, yeah, okay, yeah, that train goes all the way to northern New Jersey. Yeah, that's awesome.
Yeah, it was IO10, but yeah, I came out kind of a unique thing though for the heritage units called My Mission. Did you see that in today's video?
Yeah, I did. Yeah, that was nice. Yeah,
it's kind of a twist though. I used my Mission Impossible theme in there and stuff, and the tape recorder's smoking on the reels. So this video is self-destruct. I had to put some humor into it though, and I thought it was a pretty good idea. So anyway, jeez. Oh well, let's see. What's going on? We got Prajit Patel calling.
Oh boy.
Hey, Fichette.
Is this Mike?
Yes, it is.
RBI on the phone with me right now?
Yes, you are.
Terrific. I must bring you up to date on what's going on. It's a mess. Chimpisha got caught by the railroad police in St. Louis, and they're holding her there until I ride this train to go get her.
Oh, jeez.
I'm going to rent a car and take her home. But I don't give a shit what happens to that scumbag Tyrese. Tyrese has got me in so much trouble in the past, I can't even talk about him.
Oh, come on now.
Pain in the butt. I don't like Tyrese. He's shady. He's a shady gangster type who always calls me my nigger. And I'm Hindu. I'm not.
Oh,
Hindu.
come on now.
I am Indian.
Yeah.
Are you talking live with David Coleman?
Yes, we
now?
sure
On
are.
the internet?
Yeah, he's on right now.
I thought you were because I heard you guys on the radio talking about the train infrastructure report, which I enjoy very much.
Oh, good.
Let me bring you up to speed about Chimpisha Jones.
Go ahead.
I must give my greetings to David Coleman. Hello, David Coleman. This is Pajit Patel Veganu from India. I have spoken with you before about the trains and about Mount Poopy. If I have more information about Mount Poopy, a project I am involved in, I will fill you in on the details after I talk to Mike. We
Okay.
are using the covered hopper train car to bring in the pool because we want to take it and make Mount Poopy bigger. We plan to build a casino on the top of Mount Poopy. That way people can play craps and get the whole thing. We consider this a Class 2 railroad. But that is another matter for another time.
Yeah, it better be a long time.
A people matter. I think I have the solution for the train and the economic system to improve. I am working on a design that trains can run on the tears of liberals. Donald Trump is causing many liberal tears, and I hear that he is keeping them in a big giant vat. He's collecting liberal tears, so if I figure out how to convert it into the fuel for trains, we will be more economically stable. I must go now.
All right.
I'll talk to you all later. Thank you for calling. Namaste. Come again. Thank you very much.
All right. Oh, jeez. Oh, we haven't heard from that character in a long time. No, here's a lowdown on Chimpisha, though. About 2 weeks ago, Tyrese turned somebody in, though, and got $5,000. So they decided to ride the train to Las Vegas to play crap. Not craps, crap. Turns out he lost his whole bundle, and I guess they had to ride the train back. A week later, they got a hold of her, and she was riding the boxcar, and I guess the train stopped somewhere, and the conductor came along and went after Tyrese, though, but apparently the train started moving again, and Chimpisha was still on the train, so... Anyway, I don't know what's happened to her now. I guess she's stuck in St. Louis from what Pachit says, so... So, I don't know.
Oh, boy.
Yeah. All right, we're into this 31 minutes, so been on here quite a bit here, so you got anything else?
Yeah, that'll be interesting to hear what that was like. There are videos on YouTube, like, of people taking trains, like freight trains and stuff like that. So I'm interested to see her version of that. Very interested to see that. One thing I was going to mention, and it actually ties into that dispatcher from several months ago. I think we talked about it. The guy from the Allegheny territory on the NS over by like Horseshoe Curve.
Yeah.
The guy that tried to stop the train on the mountain. It was all on Reddit, and it was posted all over the internet. He supposedly is, I recognized this guy's voice the other night on the scanner, and I guess he is trying to qualify or be able to dispatch out here at the Conway terminal territory out here. So be interested to see how he lasts out there. Let's just say, luckily the territory is not as mountainous, but as you know by driving by that yard, Conway is a pretty complicated area with all the different routes the trains can take. There's a lot of switches and a lot of different spots the trains can go recrew at, and a lot of tracks in the yard. So I hope this guy's a little more qualified than he was on the Allegheny division, because the Allegheny division, he stopped a train on the side, or he tried to stop a train on the side of a mountain, and I just hope that he's able to make things run a little more fluid over here in the Conway area, because it's a big territory going all the way from downtown Pittsburgh out to almost East Palestine. So we'll see how it works out.
All right, absolutely. Okay, we're on 33 minutes here, so is that about wrap it up?
Yeah, that'll wrap it up, Mike. And appreciate you having me on, and looking forward to hearing the comments and stuff, and I'll talk to you soon.
Okay, it looks like we'll be back on March 1st again. So we were at the 1st today, and we're going to be on March 1st. So anyway, that's something else. So, well, can't think.
I don't want to go by automobile. I want to go by train. Okay, we'll go by train. Oh,
Anyway, that ends it right there with that clip. That was from the Three Stooges. Where that nutty guy, I forget what episode it was, but toward the end, I think it was something, some show guy or something, though, was trying to come up with an act, though. It turns out he was a nutcase, though, and didn't really have all this money and stuff, though, and the white man, or the white coats came in there with the nets, whatever, and picked him up. All right, Dave, great having you out here. We'll see you on the 1st.
Sounds good, Mike. I'll talk to you soon, man. Have a good night.
All right, you take care. We'll see you on the 1st.
Yeah, all right, bye-bye.
Okay, that was David Coleman from Pittsburgh, Pennsylvania, and Gail, I hope that kind of sum up to what was going on in the railroad industry in North Carolina from the disaster of the Hurlecane. So, anyway, yeah, I've been on here going on 35 minutes, so let's turn it back over